Okay then, Helldivers, we are back and we've got some stuff to go over today as it is Sunday. And not only is it Sunday, it's Sunday the 5th of January, which means that everybody at Arrowhead right now is off on vacay. So hopefully they're having an incredible time. But we have got to take a look at the socials to see what it is that is happening right now. Johan actually has a conversation with regards to the strafing run, and it should have been better than what it actually is now, which is fairly disappointing. But we have also got John Helldiver making himself known. We now know officially who John Helldiver is, and we take to the Reddit as you guys have been posting up some incredible ideas that need to be put into the game, and I want to know your guys' opinions on them and which one you would like the most. So we're going to take a look at everything we have going on. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated, and make sure you check out our incredible sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you can buy your video games cheaper for PC and consoles with the best deals, offers, promotions and discounts, all running up to 70% off. And this time of the year is awesome to get that backlog of games done. So go and check it out. Link in the description. Get your games a little bit cheaper today. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what it is that's happening right now. Starting off, as we get over towards the galactic war table, we can see that the only planet we need to take now is Tash to complete the major order. Then we obviously have to hold all 3 of the planets to make sure that we have it completed. And everybody is speculating that we could be getting back over to Helldivers, as this could be eventually taken again at some stage within the next 3 days as a defense campaign. So we could be going through the carnage of that planet yet again. For those of you guys who are wondering though, you have to successfully extract with 5 rare samples for your personal order in the next 24 hours. And those of you who are wondering what the store is, we have the FS11 Executioner and the CM21 Trench Paramedic. Very, very good sets indeed, and definitely worth going and checking out. But with all that said and done, we are going to take a look on the back end as Mr. Johan Peterstedt has been talking some fun facts with regards to the Eagle strafing run. And this one is an absolutely chaotic one because the strafing run already is pretty damn good, although could have been 10 times better by the sounds of it, although the likelihood is it probably wouldn't have ran properly. It states right here, fun fact, the Eagle strafing run's original fire rate was so high that it caused a ton of lag. Johan actually stated that originally the strafing run had the exact stats of the A10 GAU-8, but it made the game lag in too much due to the frame rate and 1 in 5 explosive rounds. Now obviously the way that this thing fired was absolutely insane, running it at about 2900 RPM, which meant that there would have been 1 bullet per frame, which would have just been absolutely unplayable. It's crazy to think how strong this thing could have been, and hopefully they didn't tone it down too much, but this thing is absolutely hilarious, and to know that they are trying to get the most out of their engines is absolutely phenomenal, especially leading into some new stuff that we could be getting in the future. Next up though, it appears that John Helldiver has now finally announced who he is as the main voice actor and person in the frontline trailer, the one that actually announced the Omens of Tyranny. Mr. Craig Lee Thomas has finally updated his Instagram profile stating Helldivers right here for John Helldiver and Helldivers 2, which is absolutely incredible. It does appear that the person that we've been seeing on every load up is actually John Helldiver himself, so the mystery is now solved, and all we need to see is what it is more about Brash. Other than that, we pretty much know the main person inside of the game, and it's really nice to see that Craig himself is the front runner. Moving into some stuff that you guys want to see though, as you guys have been really talking quite heavily about updates and upgrades that you want to see come to the game. A lot of things have been coming in for the Super Destroyer, of which was bound to happen eventually. Now if we take customization out of the midst, because that seems to be something we all know everybody wants, what we are left with is some interesting concepts. This right here states, suggestion idea, since those are popular, a firing range on our Super Destroyers or at Mars to test our weapons on traitors and captured bugs and bots, which I think is absolutely an incredible idea. Now I can't imagine it would be used all too much, but for statistic running, knowing numbers and seeing if a weapon is used for you, instead of making it affect everybody inside of an actual operation run, you could just jump into the shooting range and go and test out some cool figures. And I think that that is always so bloody helpful when it comes to these sorts of games, and we have a lot of fun with it. And for content creators, it definitely helps be able to showcase and show off certain weapons and how they operate. Next up though, you guys are getting itchy right now, as apparently this is not a minority anymore, but a lot of people are wanting post 150 levels. Now how it is that they're going to take this, we'll have to wait and see. The fact that this could literally just go to an infinite number number is absolutely crazy, and how they're going to implement how that gets affected, we'll have to wait and see, obviously. Taking it past maybe 150 is a little bit crazy. We start getting to levels of 200, 250, 300. It's a little bit crazy. Whether they put in a prestige mode, we'll have to wait and see. But how would you implement some new levels get put into the game? Would you just keep running them up till you hit maybe like 1,000? Or would you want to see some sort of like level reset cap to be able to like replenish and regroup? I think it'd be quite an interesting move, and I'm really, really intrigued to know what you guys are thinking. But as well as that, we're also wanting new ship modules. These things are probably the most frustrating thing in the game. Why are they frustrating? Well, actually, right in the beginning, that was our main grind. That was what we had to fight for, and we were pretty much pushing for as many ship modules as we possibly could because the list was endless. Since that point, what we have been left with is maybe 3 or 4 that get added at any one time, and they're pretty much completed by most players pretty much straight off the bat. It does seem to be one of those where we want more ship modules, or at least some sort of level of progression where we actually have something to work towards. I can speak for as much as the next player when I say that I do enjoy playing the game for the sake of playing the game. There are a lot of fun moments and I have a lot of fun with it, but I really do like the idea of having something to grind towards, and at the moment the level system doesn't really give much of a difference, so grinding towards levels doesn't really entertain me at all. I kind of want something hard-shelled that I can grab my hands on once I get to a certain point. So let me know some of the ideas that you guys would want for new ship modules, as you guys have also been diving into a lot of that. But we're going to show you guys probably the most cinematic photo that I have seen in this game to date. It does not really get any more cinematic than this one. This right here is the apparent least cinematic Jammer run. That is absolutely crazy, as he has got the lance in hand going against a load of automatons, and I don't know why, but it just looks so aesthetically pleasing. So for me, this is probably the best photo I've seen this week. Massive round of applause to you, my dude. And it seems that you guys are just running in by the bucket load, as the player base is not slowing down even a little bit. 24-hour peak of 90,000 players on Steam alone, running up to about 120,000 in the game overall in a 24-hour concurrent peak. It's absolutely incredible to see the game so alive again. Even though there's nothing new coming in through the woodworks right this second, you all seem to be enjoying the game for exactly what it's worth, and I absolutely am here for it. And taking a look at your top comments, there's a lot to go over. In the last video, we spoke about limited time events. We also spoke about the controversy around the political satire of the game and what it was that Johan had stated about it, but you guys had some interesting quotes on this one. First one here states, "I'd argue that we've already done limited time events. Remember the Terminid Tower missions? Remember when we were pumping Meridia full of dark matter? Both of those mission types are no longer available. As long as it doesn't come with limited time weapons, armor, and stratagem, I think that missions are fine." And I do agree with them. I actually think that, yes, if you look at it in that regard, limited time events have already really happened based on the story progression and how it is that those missions were actually incorporated. Obviously, the Killzone armor did show that limited time armor and weapons may well not be the greatest move for the game, but I do think that actually having some limited time events inside of missions is definitely worth doing, and we've not seen them really for quite some time. It definitely needs to start happening again. This next one right here states, "Who else thinks a new free war bond for the anniversary of the game with Helldivers 1 gear and weapons would be a great idea? Call it Titans of the Past or something along those lines." Now, I do think that the 1 year anniversary should endorse a new war bond of a free stature, almost like the starting war bond of Helldivers Mobilize, where we have something to work towards that is bigger than just the standardized war bonds. I think it was like 8 pages long, the Mobilize one, and it's definitely something that really induced a lot of players to start grinding out and going for gear that they wanted inside of it. And I think utilizing stuff from Helldivers 1 would be a lot easier way to be able to implement that one forward. A lot of really good ideas that they could just pretty much copy and paste in. Obviously, I know the schematics are completely different. I'm not a game developer, but I'd like to think that the idea of that would be a lot easier. And thirdly, right here it states, "Helldivers at its core is a game based around political satire. Anyone would be delusional not to see that." Now, obviously, when Johan was making his statements just yesterday with regards to the political viewpoints and how woke things can kind of get inside of gaming and that it doesn't really matter. I think that he's not stating about Helldivers as an overall. What he was saying was that as an overall, we should not be making political statements using games, but just making great games as an overall. I think that's pretty much what he nailed. And to be completely honest, I think he nailed it on the head, and I've got absolutely no qualms with the statement that he made. That's my honest opinion. Nonetheless, that's all we've got time for today. Hopefully we can dive in back into it, and we'll be live again as of tomorrow, back on a Monday morning. Fingers crossed everything runs through and we can get some new stuff coming to the game very soon. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe. Appreciate your faces. And as always, I'll see you in the clouds.